What is up everyone, Nick here with my recap and review for the first arc of the DC Rebirth Superman titled Son of Superman. So basically what I'm going to do is recount what happened in each issue, all the 6 issues of this first story arc, and then just kind of give you my thoughts on the story as a whole and what I liked most about the characters and what didn't work for me. So here we go. Superman issue 1 begins with pre-Flashpoint Clark visiting the New 52 Superman's grave and declaring that he can be in hiding no longer and that he will honor his memory by wearing the colors once again. Back at the Kent farm, John asks his father if he can help build the barn they're working on, and Clark agrees. John's cat gets picked up by a hawk in the farm, and John attempts to use heat vision to save his cat, but ends up killing both animals because he can't control his powers. A young girl from the neighboring farm sees this all happen and stops by later to introduce herself, and John is nervous and doesn't speak. Later that evening, Clark is introduced to Batman and Wonder Woman, and John watches from his window. The issue ends with Clark going up to John's room and telling him that he has to come with him now. Superman issue 2 begins with Clark taking John to help rescue a submarine trapped in the Arctic waters. Just as Clark has the situation under control, a giant squid creature being controlled by alien technology attacks the sub. With John's help, Clark is able to subdue the creature and send the sub home safely. John reveals what happened the other day with his cat, and Clark understands. Back at the Kent farm, John and his new friend Kathy sit on a tree branch and discuss his secret powers, while Lois and Clark talk about how much help John will be needing with his powers soon as they develop more rapidly. Just as this happens, the branch John and Kathy are sitting on snaps and John is knocked unconscious as Kathy's grandfather takes John back to the Kent farm. The issue wraps up with Clark taking John to the Fortress of Solitude to understand why he's able to get hurt like a human, while at the fortress the Eradicator is assimilated. In Superman issue 3, the story continues as we open in the Fortress of Solitude. Clark brings John and Lois to help figure out what's wrong with him, while he finds out the Eradicator was waiting all along. After a brief battle, Clark realizes the Eradicator doesn't want to actually fight him. While Kryptonian machines operate on John, the Eradicator tells Clark why he's there and what his purpose now is. The Eradicator had an early objective from General Zod, but after Krypton exploded, he searched the galaxy for remaining Kryptonians and his signal traced John. The Eradicator tells Clark he can only let John live by cleansing him of his human genome half, and begins to clear everything else by opening the Phantom Zone. Krypto is caught in this and sent to the Phantom Zone as the issue ends with the beginning of a new fight and an enraged John. In Superman issue 4, Superman and John take the fight to the Eradicator as it's revealed that the souls of Krypton are trapped within the Eradicator. 2 men in Metropolis hold what they think is a moon rock but is actually a piece of Krypton, and that triggers John, Lois, Clark, and the Eradicator to be brought to them. As Clark is able to see the trapped souls, he figures out a new plan. The issue ends with Clark putting Lois and John in a secure submersible and traveling towards the moon. As Superman issue 5 begins, Clark takes John and Lois to a secret Batcave that Bruce has built on the dark side of the moon to figure out their next step in defeating the Eradicator. Just as he tells them their plan, the Eradicator comes down and begins to fight. Superman is then absorbed by the Eradicator and John continues to fight him. Lois gets inside the Hellbat armor inside the Batcave on the moon and helps to fight Eradicator and keep him from hurting her son John. While inside the Eradicator, Superman speaks to the souls of Krypton and tells them the only way to stop him is by letting go and not giving him any more energy. They agree to do this, and Superman is freed and ready to finally stop a depowered Eradicator. In Superman 6, with this final issue, we come to the climactic fight on the moon as Superman begins his final plan to use the Kryptonian energy against the Eradicator. When Superman unleashes the blast and frees Krypto, the energy creates a massive nuclear blast and destroys the Eradicator once and for all. The news reports capture all of it and declare Superman as a hero, as most of the world didn't know he was actually back. Back at the Kent farm, Lois and Clark help prepare John for the new school year with his own disguise, and Clark tells him he's got one more thing for him. The issue ends with Clark taking John to the Justice League Watchtower and declaring him the new Superboy. So that's where the arc ends. I have to say I actually very much enjoyed this story arc. To me, when I first read this, I felt that the story was a little bit lacking in terms of the villain, but I actually realized that it wasn't really about the climactic fight with the Eradicator. It was much more about John and Clark being able to learn and trust each other, and John actually growing as a character into Superboy. That's what the main story arc was about. It was called Son of Superman, not Superman versus the Eradicator. So even though the Eradicator is a bit of a throwaway kind of generic villain, he was there more to be this force of nature to go up against them, whereas Clark and John were able to look back into themselves and actually see that they have more to offer. So I really much enjoy that aspect of it, and I really enjoyed seeing a different version of Superman, because I had read the New 52 Superman and I didn't really know what to expect from this. You know, when they introduced the old Lois and Clark from the pre-Flashpoint universe, I didn't really know what to expect from the series, and I didn't read that miniseries when it came out, so this is my first kind of exposure to that character. But overall, I have to say I very much enjoyed the series. I'm going to give it an 8.5, and I highly recommend that you guys go check out the volume when it's out in stores or on digital. Superman Volume 1, The Son of Superman. Very cool story arc, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with John as we go into the future with him being the new Superboy. And I'm very much looking forward to the Super Sons book that's supposed to hit us next year with John and Damian Wayne. So leave your thoughts down in the comment section below if you guys got a chance to check this book out, and if you actually have been keeping up with the Superman Rebirth story arc so far. And what do you guys think of John becoming the new Superboy? Leave all those thoughts down in the comment section below. If you like this video, subscribe for more DC Rebirth comic recaps like this. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you guys next time.